Welcome to Smash Metafiction, the side project of Smash Fiction, where we put aside our differences and work not to pit characters against each other, but to unite them together in search of a common goal. This week, love is in the air as we open up our box of chocolates to find a very special Valentine's Day edition of Surprise Party. Love makes the world go round, as the old adage says. Now, there are those who would have you believe that love is a lie created by Disney and Hallmark as yet another way of draining your bank account dry, and that adages like that are at best a gross over-exaggeration. They couldn't be more wrong. The phrase, love makes the world go round, is actually underselling the truth. Love makes the multiverse itself go round. That's right, the primary motive force that prevents the infinite universes of existence from slipping into eternal entropy is a mix of romantic and sexual attraction between people. This force is created and sustained in countless ways across the multiverse on a daily basis as new love blossoms and takes root, but the vast majority of these relationships aren't critical for the overall health of the multiverse, meaning that any random missed connection or breakup won't mean the slow death of existence itself. At least that's mostly true. There are a handful of relationships that are so fundamental, so important, that having them fail to come about could very well mean the end of reality. To that end, an organization was established to ensure that these keystone relationships play out as decreed by fate. The Cross-Universal Protectors of Interpersonal Devotion, or C.U.P.I.D.
So that was worth it. You walked a long ways, but it was worth it.
Using complex and infallible dimension hopping technology, agents of C.U.P.I.D monitor the multiverse for signs of potential danger to the keystone relationships and ensure that those destined to get hitched do so without a hitch. I'm Dan Mulcairn, and as the highest-ranking member of C.U.P.I.D, I'll be evaluating everyone's performance for romantic excellence. Joining me are the coordinators of C.U.P.I.D's operations, MeganBob.
I didn't come here to make friends. I came here to make out.
Liz Logan.
Reporting for smooch duty.
And Claire Mulcairn.
I've been frantically Googling Valentine's Day puns during the opener so that I'd have something for this, but they're all visual. They're all little cards. There's some olives and it says, all of you, or there's a picture of a donut. It's I don't know what I'd do without you, but these don't work for podcasts.
No. Who knew that greeting cards were a visual medium? This is terrible.
Apparently.
Now, this surprise party is a bit different from previous installments, so here's how this episode is going to work. We are taking a few classic romance stories and we'll be introducing fictional characters from other works into the mix. Each of the other hosts will create their own group of C.U.P.I.D agents to traverse the multiverse. Once each of them have their groups created, I'll present them with a classic romance gone wrong. The players will take turns choosing a character from their team, who will then become a close friend to one, both, or all of the romantic protagonists. The player will explain how their character helps to repair the relationship. After that point, the chosen character is unusable for the remainder of the game. At the end of each challenge, I'll decide privately which character met the challenge the best and award points to the players accordingly, then we'll move on. At the end of the game, when the multiverse is once again safe for happily ever afters, I'll see which player had the most points, and they and their party will be declared the winner. So first of all, let's choose your characters, and in order to do that, we're going to be rolling initiative. So please roll those d20s.
7.
2. Mighty 1.
Oh, wow.
Bunch of bottom shooters today.
Oh.
All right.
I was feeling real embarrassed about that 7, but not so much now.
All right, so the order will be MeganBob, Liz, and Claire, but this order will be rotating every round. The first character slot each of you will be filling is the idealistic friend. This character sees the world through rose-colored glasses and wants everyone else to don a pair too. This person is an eternal optimist who actively believes in true love, soulmates, and great acts of romance. They want to believe in the good in people and will do everything they can to help their friends find true happiness. MeganBob, who is your idealistic friend?
Mine is Linda Belcher from Bob's Burgers.
Aw, delightful. The second Belcher we've had on Surprise Party. Tell us about Linda.
Linda is just exceptionally supportive, and it doesn't matter with what. just that if you like something, she is there for you. And so whenever Tina was like, they wanted to put on a play, they want to have dinner theater, and Tina was a tree, and she was not great at having lines and not great at not having lines, Linda was there for that. And like, you know what? Good job being whatever the heck it is you're doing. That's great.
That is a very Bob explanation of that character. I will also say Linda Belcher is from Bob's Burgers. She is the wife of the main character, Bob Belcher. She is a mother of 3 who also co-runs a burger joint. So very good. She's a very good choice for that character slot.
I love that Dan had to revise my homework at the last minute and go, my child is about to get an F. Let me fix this.
It's all fine. We're all doing great over here. Liz, who is your idealistic friend?
My idealistic friend is Morpheus from The Matrix.
Wow.
Not someone I would classically describe as an optimist. Explain Morpheus to us.
He wants his friends to be at their best, right?
Yes.
He wants to open their eyes.
Yes, and he believes in the one. He is, okay, so he's like a general of Zion. He's the captain of the Nebuchadnezzar. He goes into the Matrix to find the one, who is Neo. He's an excellent karate kung fu master. He's totally idealistic. He wants Zion to live. Come on,
well,
guys.
he'll karate chop these relationships into shape, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Claire, who is your idealistic friend?
My idealistic friend is Marge Gunderson from Fargo.
Wow. Okay, that's terrific. Tell us about Marge.
So Marge is the chief of police in Brainerd, Minnesota. There's 2 main things about her. One, she's really positive and optimistic, but in a way that's like genuine. It's not put upon or like annoying. She's just a really moral person. She wants to believe in people, and she has a lot of empathy, even for like criminals. She's also, on the other hand, a very good detective. That might also come up in this. She can find hidden clues. She is good at questioning witnesses, and she has a gun that she's very good with. So yeah.
Yay.
You guys are definitely coming much more loaded for combat than I was anticipating in this romance. But
things could turn bad any minute.
Sure,
you never know.
Absolutely. The next character slot is the sassy friend. This friend tells it like it is and doesn't let societal niceties get in the way. Whenever the main character has gotten too in their head, has swallowed a comfortable lie, or has been taken in by someone who doesn't have their best interest at heart, you can bet that the sassy friend will snap them back to reality with a sharp quip and a wag of their finger. Liz, who is your sassy friend?
My sassy friend is Nikki from Orange is the New Black.
Okay, very sassy choice. Tell us about Nikki.
So Nikki, she's in prison. I don't know how to describe her. She's crazy. She's got crazy hair. She's really cool. And she sleeps with like everyone.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Claire, who is your sassy friend?
My sassy friend is Captain Planet.
Wow. Okay, that is the left fieldest answer. Tell us about Captain Planet.
Captain Planet is a supernatural defender of the Earth. He's a muscular man with blue skin and a green mullet. He's, superhuman dude. He's got strength and vulnerability, control all 5 elements, and he makes a lot of puns. He mostly communicates through catchphrases and snappy one-liners, the way that any good sassy friend should. And if his friends are polluting, he's gonna honey, and get them back to reality. So, yeah.
This man is polluting your life.
Oh my gosh. I want this.
He clears up toxic waste and toxic people.
Yay.
Pretty good. MeganBob, who is your sassy friend?
Mine is Miss Piggy.
Oh, perfect. Tell us about Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy is a pig. She's a Muppet. She's a performer. She is also big into having attention on her. She is a sassy friend towards other people, does not always appreciate when people are sassy to her, but she is always willing to be sassy to other people. Sometimes too sassy.
All right, very good. And the second character with karate chopping skills, so very impressive. The third character slot is the hot friend. When you're navigating the uncertain waters of romance, sometimes it helps to turn to someone who's been there before. That's where the hot friend comes in. They're that person who never seems to be hurting for amorous attentions, and they can give you tips and advices to what worked for them. Of course, they are the hot friend, so they may just sort of inherently have an easier time with romance than other people, but their advice probably can't hurt. Claire, who is your hot friend?
My hot friend is Barbarella.
Okay, from the movie of the same name.
Yes,
Tell us
indeed.
about Barbarella.
Okay, so I was on an episode of the podcast Ideal Remake where we came up with a remake for Barbarella, and I have a lot of feelings about Barbarella as a character now. So when I do this, I think there's a chance that some of my headcanon for the character might be bleeding over here, but I will try to keep it as close to what she actually is in the movie as possible. But she's a young woman from the far future of 1968, played by Jane Fonda. She's some sort of spy-ish thing who works directly for the president of Earth, which is a thing. And the Earth of the future is nonviolent and also a post-shame society. There's no hang-ups about like sex or nudity, but also everyone usually just has sex by taking drugs that make you like link minds with people and have like psychic mind sex. And so, yeah, she goes out into the world on a mission, and she's not used to people who are violent or deceitful. And she's also not used to people who have actual physical sex. And she starts experimenting with that and really likes it. So yeah, it's this sort of like journey of self-discovery thing. She's great at some things, but she's also kind of clueless and naive about other things. Also, she gets captured and tied up a lot and does not seem to mind.
That's a very good choice for the hot friend. And another good choice that our listeners can make is going and listening to that episode of Ideal Remake that you were on, because it's very enjoyable.
It's super funny.
Okay, great. MeganBob, who is your hot friend?
My hot friend is Tahani Al-Jamil from The Good Place.
A very good hot friend. Tell us about Tahani.
Such a lovely hot friend. I really do not want to spoil The Good Place very much, so all I will say is that she is a beautiful, rich debutante with an even more famous sister. And she knows how to throw a garden party, among other things. Many, many charity balls, etc.
Yeah, very good. Liz, who is your hot friend?
My hot friend is Kara Starbuck Thrace.
Ooh.
A very good hot friend. Tell us about Starbuck.
She's very pretty. She's like the best pilot on Battlestar Galactica, and she manages to completely capture the attention of two men on board, and probably many others who she's not aware of. Everyone forgives her. She does something bad. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's Kara, like, whatever. Probably because she's hot, you know.
Sure. Also, she can probably kick their ass if they get too up in her grill.
That
so,
too.
There's that too. The fourth character slot is the cynical friend. If you're not careful, love can be a kind of insanity, and the cynical friend is there to make sure you don't cross that line. Perhaps they've been hurt before. Maybe they're exceptionally logical or skeptical. Or maybe they just have a fair amount of snark. But when it comes to delivering a cold, hard reality check, the cynical friend is there. MeganBob, who is your cynical friend?
My cynical friend is Sam Vimes from the Guards books from Discworld.
Yeah, he's a very good cynical friend. Tell us about him.
He's cynical, but I think he has too much heart, and that's probably why he's cynical. But he tends to believe that humans are very fundamentally human, which means that they're going to do things that aren't great. And he's just always prepared for that.
He is also the captain of the guard of the town of Ankh-Morpork. Anyway.
Thanks, Dad!
You got it. Liz, who is your cynical friend?
My cynical friend is Ned Stark from Game of Thrones.
Interesting. I kind of feel like he could go either cynical or idealistic, depending on how you look at it. But no, I think he totally fits. Tell us about Ned Stark.
I would say he's a logical cynic. So he's like a lord of an area, warden of the north. He gets recruited by his king, Robert. Could also be a great dumpus in this, but anyways.
Wow.
To be hand to the king, like his advisor, and Ned's like, wow, this is a terrible idea, but my friend's asking me, so I better do it, even though I'm probably going to die. Spoiler alert, he dies.
Yep. Okay. Very good. Claire, who is your cynical friend?
My cynical friend is Theodora Crane from The Haunting of Hill House.
AKA the best character in that show, because I'm assuming you're going with the Netflix version.
Yes, indeed. So she is a child psychologist. She is very plain-spoken and kind of rude, doesn't like letting people in, keeps people at arm's length. Even in romantic relationships, usually just kind of keeps them to casual sex. And she also habitually wears gloves. Another thing about her is she has empathy powers. When she touches people or touches objects, she has visions of their past, of their future, or whatever. She can sense people's emotions, all that kind of stuff. One reason she wears gloves all the time and doesn't like getting close to people is because it's very overwhelming for her. If she touches people, then she oftentimes will feel their pain and their trauma. And she, a lot of the time, does not want to deal with that because being a character in this show, she has problems enough as is.
Very true. A very strong cynical friend. I think that she totally has the attitude for that.
Also, she's queer and deserves her own spinoff where she solves crimes. That is all.
Yep.
Yay.
The fifth character slot is the manipulator friend. To the manipulator, there's no problem so insurmountable that it can't be solved by a complex scheme. Sometimes all it takes is a whisper in the ear of person A, a poster hung up where person B can see it, and a staged fight right in front of person C, and what would have been a long and complicated love triangle becomes a straight line to romance. Liz, who is your manipulator friend?
My manipulator friend is Lucius Malfoy from Harry Potter.
Delicious!
Lucius Malfoy is a wizard in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. He is secretly, but not so secretly, a Death Eater. Slytherin house, has a brat of a child, and he basically makes it his mission to serve Lord Voldemort and make Harry Potter's life a living hell.
Wow. Okay, very good manipulator choice. Claire, who is your manipulator friend?
It should be manipulative, just by the way. I want to say the rest of them are all adjectives, but regardless. My manipulative friend is Ursula the Sea Witch from The Little Mermaid.
Ooh.
All right, tell us about Ursula.
She is a schemy, evil cartoon lady from the waist up, and she is an octopus from the waist down. She wants to rule the ocean. She has magic powers. A lot of her schemes involve like making deals with people, but deals that are hard to satisfy so that they will eventually fail. And then this clause in the contract kicks in where she basically owns them. She makes illusions. She has these eel minions. She could take human form, which she might have to do at some point in this. Although we see her walking around on land with her little tentacles. She gets by just fine. So whatever.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll all be fine.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, terrific.
You've
Very
seen The Little Mermaid. You know who Ursula is, audience.
More importantly, you've listened to that one Smash Fiction episode where we did the Disney villains.
Yeah.
A much more definitive take on Ursula, I would say.
Yes.
MeganBob, who is your manipulator friend?
I feel like such a basic bitch, but it's Loki.
Okay.
I just like him.
I take it you're using the Marvel version?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about him.
God of Asgard, quote unquote God. Very mischievous, slightly murdery. Thor's adopted sibling. Has done some shenanigans with the Avengers. Currently not around, question mark?
Okay, so I take it then you're using the cinematic universe version of Loki as opposed to the comic version.
Yes.
That works out fine. And we are 3 for 3 on manipulator magic users. So very good, everyone.
They're cute.
And the 6th and final character slot is, of course, the Dumpus. They're like if the hot friend wasn't actually hot. Or if the cynical friend had no actual grasp on reality. Or if the manipulator friend learned their social engineering through a series of poorly filmed YouTube clips. Turns out that good intentions only extend so far, and the Dumpus is way past that point. And as always, players will not be choosing their own Dumpuses, but will instead be assigning a Dumpus to another player. Claire, who is MeganBob's Dumpus?
MeganBob's Dumpus is Danny Rand, aka Iron Fist. From the Netflix series, of course.
Yep.
Okay, the MCU version of Iron Fist. Tell us about this sad, sad man.
Yes. So this sad, sad man was once a sad, sad boy. His parents died in a plane crash. He was the only survivor. He got found by some monks that raised him in a monastery, and they taught him martial arts, and they apparently did not teach him how to have any sort of personality beyond that. He returned to New York City. He's terrible at everything. He's just growly and like mean and super serious, and he punches things, and sometimes his hand glows when he punches things, and that's about all he has to offer.
I also get the strong sense that he just smells like patchouli oil.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
That's just kind of,
Oh, yeah.
All right, what a Dumpus that is. MeganBob, who is Liz's Dumpus?
Liz's Dumpus is Misty's Psyduck from Pokemon. Yes, Misty's
right,
Psyduck is a Psyduck, which is a type of Pokemon, and it gets very confused and can't do anything until it is sufficiently upset enough to have a headache, and then it can do kind of a psychic attack, but its other attacks are like a tail wag and then a water thing, and it's adorable and useless, and often it will appear even if you don't want Psyduck to be the Pokemon that you get. Well, what Misty wants it to be, and then it's just Psyduck.
I love that for this romance thing, we have a character that's nonverbal. That's perfect.
I mean, he's a tiny bit verbal.
I mean, he says one thing.
He says sigh.
Liz, who is Claire's Dumpus?
Claire, your Dumpus is Cosmo Kramer.
Oh!
From Seinfeld.
Tell us about Cosmo.
Kramer is an enigma. No one knows what he does. He bursts through doors. He installs garbage disposals in showers. Like I said, enigma. He doesn't really have any social skills and annoys Jerry.
Yeah, he's the annoying neighbor from the series Seinfeld, and boy oh boy, he is a weirdo.
Liz, the way that you delivered that, it sounded like you were giving a lecture on what you knew about a particular cryptid.
Yeah. All right, everyone now has a party of 6 characters, but before we all apply some minty fresh breath spray, we're going to play a quick round of musical chairs. So each of you, please roll a d6.
No.
3.
1.
5.
So MeganBob will be giving her idealistic friend to Claire.
That would be Linda Belcher.
Liz will be giving her hot friend to MeganBob.
Oh my.
Starbuck.
All right, Starbuck goes to MeganBob. And Claire will be giving her manipulator friend to Liz. And so that would be...
Liz, you got Ursula.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Players, please introduce your interdimensional wingmen to the public, starting with MeganBob.
And my team is Miss Piggy, Tahani Al-Jamil, Kara Thrace, aka Starbuck, Sam Vimes, Loki, and Danny Rand.
I love it. Liz?
My team is Morpheus, Nikki, Ned Stark, Ursula, Lucius Malfoy, and Misty Psyduck.
And Claire.
My team is the idealistic Marge Gunderson, the sassy Captain Planet, the hot Barbarella, the cynical Theodora Crane, the very dumpy Cosmo Kramer, and I guess my manipulative friend is Linda Belcher.
Yeah, marking the second time that you've gotten
Yes.
a Belcher from someone else at Surprise Party.
I barely watch this show, and like it's...
You attract Belchers.
I attract
I guess so.
Belchers.
And with that, let's see who in the multiverse needs our loving attention. Chapter 1, Moonstruck.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta say, this first one really surprised me when it showed up on the Multiversal Crisis Monitor. The relationship between Loretta Castorini and Ronnie Camerari is one that seemed rock solid. I mean, you wouldn't have thought it from the way they started. Loretta was originally engaged to Ronnie's brother Johnny, but after meeting the one-handed Ronnie for the first time, their passions rose like a perfectly crafted loaf of bread. They made love and went to the opera, but it wasn't until Ronnie gave an impassioned speech in front of his apartment that Loretta finally gave in. That's the way it's supposed to go anyway, but I'm watching on the monitor now and Ronnie is looking tongue-tied. He's stumbling over his words. He can't put a coherent sentence together. Loretta is looking at her watch. She's ready to leave. Without this final night of passion together, Loretta will never get the conviction to leave Johnny, and we could see some real damage done to the multiverse. All right, everyone, I'm going to need you to choose an agent for this task, one who is going to play Cyrano to Ronnie Camerari. Your character will be hiding in the shadows behind Ronnie and feeding him lines to say to Loretta. So you better make them good because this is his one chance to convince her to give their relationship a shot. So MeganBob, which character is going into this mission and what sorts of dialogue do they feed to Ronnie? And you can either speak them in character and literally say what they tell Ronnie, or you can just give me a summary of the sort of message that they want Loretta to hear.
Oh, no. Because I think it's going to be Starbuck.
Okay.
And Starbuck is not going to offer any helpful words because words are not going to solve this. What you have to do is take action. And taking action means grabbing her face and just making out with her and possibly having sex against that door in a very public place.
Okay.
This is just
Starbuck just keeps whispering kiss her, basically.
Yeah, and going, no, more. Get her done, boy. That's how you do it.
All right, that is a bold strategy, Starbuck. Liz, tell me which character you pick and what they say.
I'm going to use Nikki from Orange is the New Black. She's going to be whispering in Johnny's ear,
come on, you gotta go get her some roses and then give it to her and, see if she likes that. Go get them right now.
And then Johnny leaves to get the roses.
Oh, no.
Hey, Loretta, my name's Nikki and, thought you could use a fun night out. This creepy guy's been talking to you. You want to go see a movie or something and then, maybe go back to my place and have sex? I mean, does that sound interesting to you?
So Nikki's swooping in here?
Oh, wow.
Yep. And they walk off.
Claire, how about you?
So I think we're going with Marge Gunderson on this one. So
Okay.
Ronnie is going to come up to like the steps of Loretta's house, and say, "Hi there, Loretta. How you doing? Oh, me, real good now. Mind if I have a seat? Carrying quite a load here. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you, it can be a dark, scary world out there with a lot of terrible people in it. I've done some bad things in the past, but I'm trying to be better. And sometimes when it's cold out there, you just want to be inside, safe with someone warm, with someone you care about. And at the end of a hard day, just sit down and watch some TV and eat some potato chips and fall asleep together." And, okay, now don't say this part out loud, but Ronnie, you're a good boy too. You have a lot to offer. You should probably stand up straight. Ronnie, I said not to say this part.
Oh, wow.
Well, she tries real hard, that Marge Gunderson. All right, very good. Chapter 2, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Hey, that's not nice.
Good job on your first outing, but no time to rest. We have another keystone relationship in serious jeopardy. The relationship of high schoolers Kat Stratford and Patrick Verona.
I hate those names. Oh, God, I didn't know they
It's
had
the
them.
worst. They're the worst.
I love it.
Patrick, the bad boy from Australia, has been secretly paid to get Kat to go out with him. Kat, a highly intelligent and independent student who cultivates an antisocial, some might say shrewish demeanor, has been a tough nut to crack, but she's slowly beginning to warm up to Patrick, and Patrick in turn has been starting to develop genuine feelings for Kat. The time is right for Patrick to perform a grand public declaration of love. Patrick has paid off the school marching band to accompany him in a surprise performance of Can't Take My Eyes Off You, while Kat is at soccer practice. But when the day comes, soccer practice has been canceled on account of rain. What's more, rain is on the weather forecast for every day up until prom. Time for the agents of C.U.P.I.D to swing into action once again. Choose a character to befriend Patrick Verona, and then tell me what sort of public declaration of love they will help him to perform in order to get through Kat's mean girl front. Liz, which of your characters are you picking, and what is the bold action they are helping Patrick to take?
I am going to pick Ursula for this. She's kind of a manipulator. So she put up signs for like, oh, it's raining. Ocean wildlife is gonna be lit. And it's gonna be like a cruise thing. And it's gonna be like free for young love or whatever. So they're gonna go on this cruise. And then it turns out it's a submarine all planned by Ursula. And it's gonna go down into the reef and she's gonna be there. And she's gonna try to look as not scary as possible. And it'll just be a magical time. I don't know. Ursula's a trip planner now. She's a travel agent, I guess, and that's how she's going to do it. And that's literally it. She just facilitated like an undersea excursion.
All right, very good. Claire, it's your go.
Captain Planet's going to infiltrate the school, I guess wearing a baseball cap and some like baggy shorts or whatever.
No.
And like challenge Patrick to a game of hoops and try to just pass himself off as a normal high school student. And then he gets Patrick to open up about his problems. He tells him like, oh, you should do a grand romantic gesture, but we should come up with something sustainable, maybe something that could help out our local community too. What if we made her like a flower garden? We could like arrange flowers and it could like look from above like it's her face or something like that on like the side of the school fields where you're planning on doing your big thing. By this point in time, Patrick has put together that Captain Planet has superpowers because he sort of will oftentimes be inadvertently like flying around out of laziness or using his superhuman strength and stuff. So he's put it together. He's no dummy. And so he asks him why he can't just use his powers to like, okay, like grow some flowers then. And he's like, no, you have to do it yourself because it means more if it comes from your heart. And he's like, that's great, but you could do it in like 2 seconds. And he's like, the power is yours. And I'm going to sit here while you do that. So yeah, he gives him a bunch of of like seeds and he plants them and stuff like that. Once they're all planted, Captain Planet does make them grow faster. And at the end, there is a either very flattering or creepily obsessive flower portrait of her that is made, depending on which way she decides to go and what her taste is in grand romantic gestures.
Very good. MeganBob, let's hear it.
Well, Loki to the rescue. Loki's first response to any kind of situation in which you need to win somebody over or to just generally make a situation better is fake your own death immediately.
Oh, jeez.
So, it's rainy. Oh, no, there was a terrible accident in the soccer field. A drowning somehow. Oh, no, Patrick Verona, tragic, lost at sea in the soccer fields, question mark? And so then the entire school thrust into mourning. However, Loki's also going to do some of that covert glamours, if you will. Patrick's going to continue attending classes, but he's mostly going to be unnoticed. And then every now and then, Kat's going to get a glimpse of him out of the corner of her eye. And she's going to think, it's just because I've been thinking about him, you know? And then at prom, the sea of people at prom is going to part. And he's going to walk down this, I don't know, the Red Sea that is these people towards her and just say, I died, but your love brought me back to life. I came back from this watery grave to say how hot you look in that dress.
Oh, man.
And then Loki's going to give him a double thumbs up and be like, yeah, that was scummy as hell. Good job, kid.
Oh, man. There's no problem that can't be solved with a sufficient degree of gaslighting, apparently.
I mean, that's how he works. That's how high school movies work.
You are
and that
absolutely right.
1,000% what Loki does.
Brilliant. Chapter 3, The Princess Bride. Okay, now something's really fishy here. It's rare for two keystone relationships as strong as Moonstruck and 10 Things I Hate About You to be threatened, but The Princess Bride is foundational. And yet for some reason, something is very rotten in the state of Florin. The young farm girl named Buttercup has been kidnapped by the vile Prince Humperdinck, who has forced her into marrying him. Normally, the wedding would be interrupted once Humperdinck receives word that Buttercup's true love Wesley and his two companions have entered the castle and are fighting their way to her as they speak. But it looks like Wesley and friends are running a bit behind. The only reason Humperdinck and Buttercup aren't official yet is because this clergyman is taking his sweet time monologuing about marriage, but that is not going to last forever. We are going to have to get dramatic with this one. Choose one of your remaining characters and tell me how they stop this wedding. Claire, which character is going to interrupt the I do's?
We're going to send Linda this one. Linda Belcher. She can do it, I think.
Okay.
All right. So before she gets, I guess, I don't know how this works, beamed down to the Princess Bride planet.
Yeah, that's it.
The rest of the members of the C.U.P.I.D team are going to liquor her up a little bit, give her some bottles of wine. She's going to kind of stumble into the room where the wedding is taking place and just kind of start walking up to people and asking questions like, hey, what's going on? Hi, who are you? And the priest is going to turn and start talking to her. He's like, yo, you talk funny. And just say,
in her very thick New Jersey accent.
Does anybody else want something to drink? And then just have a swig and then start passing some alcohol out and be like, why are you so quiet? This is supposed to be a wedding. You should be happy. Is it too early to start the dancing? And basically just sort of vamp and do the social equivalent of filibustering for as long as she can.
She is a very good wedding crasher in that way, yes.
And if anybody tries to pull on some sort of higher authority, she could just switch into mom mode and be like, no, you do not take me out of here until I have had my say.
Awesome. MeganBob, who are you picking to ruin Humperdinck's big day?
I'm picking Danny Rand.
Oh boy, okay.
This wedding is occurring, and then this humorless young man stands up and says, very blandly, this is not right. And I am a person who stops things that are not right.
Oh boy.
I have been training to stop things that are not right because I am very strong and have trained a long time to do this. And so now I am going to use the powers that I have from my backstory, which I can tell you about if you wish to know more about them,
God.
to end this ordeal. And then he will power up his fist very slowly. And then he will just punch various people, as that is how he solves problems. But not quickly, and not with any particular interesting drama. No one will stop him, because it's not interesting enough to bear reacting to.
Bob, I love that the way that Iron Fist is doing this, like the way he's overcoming this problem, is by exposing Humperdinck to an episode of Iron Fist. It's like, I defy
Which takes
you.
an hour and nothing happens.
Yeah, I defy you to spend time with me.
Humperdinck actually runs away, not because he's afraid of getting punched. He's just trying to escape the episode.
Oh,
He crawls out a window.
That's outstanding, Bob. All right, Liz, let's hear what you're thinking.
The person that's going to, Misty Psyduck is going to interrupt this wedding. He's going to waddle in past all the guards. No one's going to think anything in this magical kingdom about a anthropomorphic duck. Well, he's not really anthropomorphic. Whatever, he's a duck. He's a Psyduck. And he's going to come in, and he's going to be walking down the aisle as if, maybe he's the flower duck or something. I don't know. And he's going to let that, that crazy light attack he did. His eyes are just going to glare, and then everyone's going to be blinded and run out of the building as if someone said fire, but instead it was Psy.
Oh, man. That is very disruptive indeed, Liz. Very good. Chapter 4, Twilight.
Oh, no.
Yay!
Yeah, something's definitely going on here. It's almost as though someone is deliberately targeting these keystone relationships as if they were trying to bring about the end of existence. We're going to be working out to figure out what's happening, but in the meantime, you have another relationship to save. This one is a bit trickier. Teenager Bella Swan has moved to Washington State, where she's caught the eye of one Edward Cullen. The two develop a mutual, if cautious, attraction to one another until Edward eventually reveals that he is, in fact, a vampire. Around this time, Bella also happens to meet Jacob Black, another local teen, whose antagonism toward Edward is explained when it's revealed that he is a werewolf, and an attraction is growing between him and Bella too. Bella is torn between her two affections, and seems to be having difficulty deciding between the two. If she doesn't make up her mind soon, the two may decide that she's not worth their time, or they may even come to blows. I'll level with you guys though, this is technically a keystone, but it's a bit more flexible than the others. The important thing is that this situation get resolved somehow. So here's what we're going to do. Each of you choose a character. It will be their job to befriend Bella, Edward, Jacob, or some combination of the three, and get this situation taken care of. So maybe Bella goes with Edward, maybe with Jacob, maybe with neither. Anything is better than this indecision. So, MeganBob, which character are you choosing? And what decision are they advocating for?
I am choosing Sam Vimes.
Interesting.
Sam Vimes is wise in the ways of how dumb people are about most things, and also is not impressed by a werewolf nor by a vampire. However, what he is especially not impressed by is breaking the rules, especially rules that are there for a reason, like the fact that you cannot date people who are older than you like that. That is illegal. And so he is going to say, no, I know what it's like to be young. I know what it's like to have feelings. Look, you're not allowed to date a 100-year-old vampire. I don't care how many times he's been to high school. He is not actually in high school. Also, this young werewolf, he needs to get in a better pack. He just seems to be like loitering around the place. Stop it. Come join the watch. He's going to try and get Jacob to join the watch, get some sort of career going.
Sure.
And, get Bella to stop doing this and then go off to college.
All right. Very sound decision making on Vimes' part. Liz, what are you going with?
Morpheus.
Okay.
Morpheus is going to approach Bella and say, Bella, what do you want to do with your life? And Bella's going to be like, Edward? Jacob? Morpheus is like, no, you don't want to do that. And then he's going to start this underground fight club, and it's going to be werewolves and vampires. And they're going to fight. And then one night he's going to invite Bella, and she'll see it, and she'll be like, oh my god, this is terrible. And then she'll run away, and then she doesn't have to choose either of them.
Wow. All right.
Rip the rug out of you guys on that one.
Yeah, you sure did. Claire, tell me what happens on your end of things.
Yeah, I think that this is a job for Theodora Crane, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
She is going to insert herself as the new school psychiatrist, guidance counselor person. She's going to have some meetings with Bella and with Jacob and Edward and all of those. And at appropriate times, she's going to reach out and touch one of them on the hand or the arm or something and figure out their whole deals. And when she figures out what's going on with Edward, she's going to have no part of this. So she's going to sit Bella down and be like, yeah, this guy's way too old for you. I really don't think you should be with either one of these, but I also know that you're a dumb teenager, and if I make a lot of rules and tell you can't do things, you're just going to rebel anyway, because that's what I was like too, and I know how it is. So I guess you can go be with Jacob for a little while because he's at least your age. Here, have some condoms. Don't get pregnant. And he's not going to be the one. Trust me, I can see these things. Like, keep your options open. Don't get too attached, kid. You got a long life.
Oh, man. Very sound advice from Theodora. Chapter 5, A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yay!
Okay. We think we've just about gotten to the bottom of this weird sabotage thing that seems to be going on. In the meantime, we just want to make sure that the multiverse is safe, so we're going to need you to head to the forest outside of Athens. See, there's this couple, Hermia and Lysander, who have fled into the forest to elope, but they're being pursued by Demetrius, who's in love with Hermia, and he's being pursued by Helena, who's in love with him. And as if that wasn't bad enough, this forest is ruled by Oberon and Titania, the king and the queen of the fairies, at the height of their epic squabble. And Oberon has dispatched his servant Puck to perform some acts of mischief. And to top it all off, a group of local actors decided to use the forest as their rehearsal space, and you just know they're going to end up complicating things. This is a really crazy situation. So I know each of you only have 2 characters left right now, but we're going to need both of them. So Liz, please remind us which 2 characters you're going to Athens with.
Lucius Malfoy and Ned Stark.
Okay.
Oh.
Claire, how about you?
Barbarella and Kramer?
The dream team that everyone was asking for.
Sure.
And MeganBob, who are you 2 characters for this one?
Oh, I have the beautiful Miss Piggy and the even more beautiful Tahani Al-Jamil.
Okay. So, the good news is that your characters have done some investigating, and it seems like this keystone is relatively stable. It looks like whatever is messing with these relationships across the multiverse hasn't come to this world. The interesting news is that your characters took a nap in the forest when along came Puck and sprinkled some weird magic flower juice into their eyes. Yes. As soon as they woke up and lay eyes on each other, they instantly fell in love.
Oh, no.
Looks like they are taking some time to themselves, and the multiverse is their oyster. So tell me what these 2 characters decide to do on their date. Liz, what you got for me?
Ned looks in Lucius's eyes and says,
oh, I'm so happy.
One simply does not fall in love.
Okay, wrong Sean Bean character, but okay.
It doesn't matter.
Nope, it really doesn't. Sorry, continue.
You become together? Lucius, come join me. Oh, yes, let me, Dobby, come here, will you play some music for us?
Yes, Lucius. Yes, master.
Lucius, what is this? Oh, it's Dobby. Okay. Ned gives his coat to Dobby, and Dobby's free. Dobby runs off. Anyways. Lucius is such an asshole. Like, okay.
Yeah, he's a real jerk.
So anyways.
Good to get that out of the way. No more.
So anyways, they... I don't know. So they keep...
No, I love this.
That was like an amazing scene in Harry Potter. Anyways, so they're walking across a bridge, and Lucius trips, and he falls, and he gets up, and he does that whole, like, with his hair, like when he gets really angry and stuff, and Ned's like calming him down. I have no idea where I'm going with this. Ned calms him down, takes out his greatsword Ice, and chops the bridge.
Such an act of love.
In anger. And Lucius is like, oh, wow, that's really nice. Are you cold, Ned? And Ned's like, yes. And then Lucius gives Ned his coat, and then Ned runs off.
Are you saying Ned Stark's a fucking house elf?
Now that is a twist I did not see coming.
What the hell? I love this. Liz, I love you.
All right. That was that took some turns.
Oh, God, that was painful.
Claire, what are you thinking?
I think that Barbarella and Kramer are going to have a wonderful series of misadventures together in their time outside of mythical Athens here. There's a couple things. First of all, Kramer's going to have a lot of schemes, and Barbarella's going to be down to get in on some schemes. There's these like rare elvish herbs that are in the middle of the woods, and people in Athens are wanting to buy them a lot. So Kramer starts setting up this like smuggling operation where he can like buy stuff from elves and then sell it at a higher price to other people.
What's with all the
make a lot of
elves?
money.
Sorry.
He's got a lot of schemes and plans that Barbarella's getting involved with. Of course, at some point in time when they're trying to get these herbs, they get like tied up by a bunch of dryads and like vines, and so of course Barbarella gets her outfit just torn to the right degree, as does Kramer. So you can see. I also think that, as we know, Barbarella is like very polyamorous, and Kramer's Kavorka. I mean, come on, man. Mm-hmm. He has the lure of the animal. Like people who meet him they just can't keep their hands off of him. So it's not going to be an exclusive thing. They're going to have all sorts of lovely, lovely adventures with elves and with humans and with all sorts of magical Shakespearean creatures.
Wow. Well, kudos to you for keeping both of those characters very on brand. That was a tough tightrope to walk. And MeganBob, send me your fic.
Okay, I don't know if you guys are ready to go on this journey, but okay, this is the journey I'm taking you on. So they wake up, and it's that misty view that you have in kind of 90s Shakespeare films that are period pieces. So dreamlike. And then they lock eyes, and they're like, I've never seen someone as beautiful as you. And then they look at one another and like, you're as beautiful as I am. We're so beautiful. And then they just sort of admire one another, and then they go, oh, we've been sleeping on the ground. Like, oh, we have to clean off. And because it's one of those magical Shakespeare forests, there's like this beautiful pool of water. So then there's a prolonged bathing scene where they just like wash one another's hair. And then there's a lot of like montages of faces in ecstasy because it's like hair washing. And so it's an herbal essence commercial as well in that regard. And then there's like dryads and naiads hanging out nearby, sort of giggling and also washing their hair, but not in as sexual a way, because to them that's just normal everyday thing. And then they get dressed, and they dress one another in these new forest garbs that are made of like petals and moonbeams and like bits of moss. And so there's a whole fashion montage because both of them are very into clothes. And then they walk through the forest together holding hands, and they're like, do you want to come back to my bower? Like, yes, I've never wanted anything more. And then you see like it sort of fades out as they walk, and then the mist kind of closes around them, and they are absorbed into the forest by the love and beauty that they have.
Wow. That was an intense journey, Bob. And that brings us then to Chapter 6, Stealing Hearts. After some intensive work, we finally gotten to the bottom of this multiversal catastrophe. You see, a lot of fictional characters have worked for C.U.P.I.D over the years, but not all have left on good terms. Some time ago, one of C.U.P.I.D's best agents was forced out and swore revenge, not just on the organization, but on the multiverse itself. That agent's name was Kissyroth, better known as Sephiroth.
Oh, I'm so excited!
It's Sephiroth that has been going through universe after universe, ensuring that key relationships never develop, and seizing the love energy left behind in the absence of those relationships. He has taken this love energy and hidden it away in a high-security vault known as the Shadow Depository. This is the bank to end all banks, a heavily armored installation including automated guns, motion detectors, and tons of guards, to say nothing of the heavy locked doors and ever-present monitoring equipment. Agents, I know we hired you to help repair relationships, but now you have to repair the multiverse. And that means we're all going to have to work together. Between the three of you, you have 18 characters. We are going to use those 18 characters to put together a team of 3 that will hopefully pull off the biggest heist the multiverse has ever known and restore love back to existence. Here's how this is going to work. Claire is up first, and Claire is going to be providing me with the team's face. This is the character who will be responsible for getting the team into the Shadow Depository via apparently legitimate means, posing as a potential client for the vault, disguising themselves as security, or something else altogether. You can't sneak past the front door unseen, so you'll need a good cover story. So Claire, tell me which of your characters you are picking as the group's face, and how they get the party in.
I think the face that we are going to send in for this one is going to be Theodora Crane. She is going to get herself appointed as like a counselor HR person who's supposed to be looking after like the mental well-being of the security staff. So she's going to start off like hosting a lot of meetings that are supposed to like raise group morale and stuff, trust falls. A lot of it's going to involve hand-holding, of course, to get to know people so she can start getting the secrets from people. And as it gets better and she gets to know people, she's going to get them to open up, talk about their past trauma and like cry and become closer and become better, more emotionally well-adjusted people in general. But then as time goes on, she's going to say like, and you know what? As another exercise that I want to do with you, it's important that we don't all have secrets from one another, you know, to be a good team. So in order to let people in metaphorically, I'm going to need you as a team to let me in literally. Like, we all have vaults within ourselves where we keep our secrets locked away, but we can't have secrets between us if I'm going to be guiding you through this journey of self-discovery. So,
brilliant. I love it. All right, we are through the front door and into the Shadow Depository. Liz is up now. Liz, I need you to provide me with the group's thief. The thief is going to be the one responsible for getting into the vault and retrieving the ill-gotten love energy contained within a single briefcase. It's a very easily condensable substance. There are a lot of ways to do this. You can sneak your way through the shadows and into the air ducts, hack into the security system, or if you're desperate, you can try fighting your way through. Who are you choosing and what are they doing?
Morpheus is going to be our thief.
That seems appropriate.
No one is more appropriate to break into a highly secure area and grab a briefcase than someone from the Matrix. Morpheus isn't even going to bother, with cloak and dagger stuff. Theodora is going to have made such a presence for herself as HR. She's going to, deliver like an email saying, oh, we have this really exclusive client coming in. Because, Morpheus dresses like really, really well. So she's going to go meet Morpheus and be like, ooh. She's even going to introduce him to people. And Morpheus is just going to walk right in and say, I need to see my safety deposit box. And so he's going to go and they're going to think he's a big client. He's going to get in there, open up his trench coat, which is heavily laden with all sorts of lock picking tools and storage solutions. And it's like lead lined, so you can't see through it. And he's going to pick the lock. If he has to, he'll shoot it. But, he's got like a silenced pistol. So, he comes prepared. And he's going to take the love energy and then be escorted out by Theodora as if nothing happened.
Beautiful. All right, well, the briefcase is secure. Now, we just need to get the hell out of here. And that's where MeganBob comes in, because MeganBob is providing the character responsible for the getaway. This person could literally be a getaway driver or pilot of some kind, or perhaps they provide some kind of distraction. Make it good, though, because this is our only chance to get the hell out of Dodge before Sephiroth shows up.
Tahani Al-Jamil is waiting outside with a fleet of horse-drawn carriages decorated for a wedding. And all these horses are pure white. And also the horses are decorated for a wedding because they have tiny horse top hats. And one of the carriages has a 5-piece orchestra in it. And then in one of the other carriages, there is like a bride and groom costume. And she is going to cover this as though it is a grand event kind of wedding. And so everybody is just going to be lost in this party that that's happening around them. And so why on earth would this possibly be a getaway situation? This is very clearly a happy wedding scenario. No one would ever disguise themselves or try to escape by throwing a beautiful wedding that's the most perfect wedding that anyone has ever had in the history of planning parties.
Okay, wow. That is a ballsy maneuver, madam, and I like it very much.
And also, everybody really said that it was their favorite wedding they'd ever been to, even though the wedding never happened.
Beautiful. All right, well, tallying up the points, I see that MeganBob is our winner for this one.
That makes a lot of sense.
It really does. It really, really does.
I was prepared to lose it, but I'm honored.
You kind of swept it a little bit. Claire got first place in the first challenge. Because honestly, that scene you acted out with the dialogue was just top notch.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
MeganBob got first place for 10 Things I Hate About You. Just because, I mean, that sounded like something out of a high school romance movie.
Yeah, it's very Shakespearean too, the faking your own death.
Totally. I mean, they do that in so many Shakespeare plays, and yeah, it was perfect and very low-key. Bob also got first place for The Princess Bride.
Torturing people?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't not give it to you at that point. Like, I have never felt more sympathy for Humperdinck than the thought that he might have to be in the same room as Danny Rand from the Netflix show. For the Twilight episode, I gave first place to Liz, because Liz, you caught me so off guard with that Fight Club thing.
It didn't make any sense.
It didn't, but it was great, and it was so funny. I was having a real hard time deciding who got first between Claire and Bob for the Midsummer Night's Dream thing. But I had to give it to Bob just a little bit, just because it was clear that you had so much passion put into it. And you were just like opening your heart to us. And I had to give that some weight. And it turns out that was really all it took. And for the last battle, again, it was really close between Claire and Liz. But Claire, I gave you the slight edge just for how completely bonkers your premise was. So
Hand-holding.
Yeah. So congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to MeganBob. Your team has ensured that love and more broadly all of existence can survive another day. And this means that your characters get to relax on the worlds that they help to save. So tell me which worlds each character decides to spend their downtime in and what they do there.
Wow. Miss Piggy and Tahani are living in the Midsummer Night's Dream world now. Like that's just where they live forever. I think Sam Vimes has taken up a role as a cop in Forks because God knows they need it. He doesn't want this job, but you go where you're needed and you do what needs doing. And this town of fuck-ups needs a Sam Vimes so
There's a
badly.
lot of supernatural romance just everywhere in this town.
Yeah, it's a problem. I think Kara Thrace and I think Danny. I think Kara Thrace is going to try and take Danny under her wing and try to make him less shit.
Oh boy, that is a tall order.
They're going to wander around the world of 10 Things I Hate About You for some reason. Not a good reason, just cuz. And Loki's just going to be everywhere, causing more mischief. Probably trying to sell drugs to high school students.
Time for the sick thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm sick. Nice to meet you.
I'm so sorry you're sick.
But I love all the little fan babies so much. I came out to say that I love them.
The fans are the only thing that could get you away from your cocoon of used tissue and tea.
Oh, you poor baby.
So first of all, Miles found these people. Thank you to the people on Reddit who've been mentioning us whenever other Redditors are like, hey, do you have recommendations for podcasts? Blah, blah, blah. Like, namely, we found History 777, MSG Wobo, and I don't have the full name of this person. Hector of Objects, maybe Hector of Objects, I don't know. But thank you guys. We see you out there lurking, not trying to be known, but we see you. Also, there's new fan art on our website. I finally got WordPress to not be annoying. If you want to see your fan art on the site and we don't have it already up there, please feel free to email it to us. We love seeing what you do. Over to Twitter, thank you to Cutlery Fun Facts, Cosplay Fiend, Cosplay Devotee, Decade Fan, Sandwich Surplus, Earth Mofo, Jack Ref Frizette.
You want to take that again?
No.
Okay.
They know who they are. Vander Turner, Sean Boyd, The Shattered Worlds RPG, which is by our fan Jeff Richardson, Matias Taldimez, Jaded John, and welcome to soup weather. Oh, indeed, especially now. Now that I am dying, much soup is being eaten. And on Tumbles, thank you to Fat Blunt 69.
Fat Blunt
Fat Blunt 69.
Does anyone know what happens when you get high if you're sick? Ask it for a friend. Over to Facebook, thank you to Jeff Follier, Robert Ramsey, and Daniel Kidder. And lastly, Bob, shall we announce the movie night time?
Yes.
I think it's safe
we
to.
shall. I believe so.
The 23rd of February, we are going to be having another movie night. It's going to be Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, a hilarious and surprisingly wholesome 5th movie in the Godzilla franchise. So it's like it was made in the 60s. It's wonderful. And the time we are going to be watching that is 8 p.m. Pacific Standard. If you want to get in on that, get in touch with us on some social media if you're not part of the fan faction. Easiest way is probably the fan faction, but I understand if you don't want to join Facebook for that.
You should be friends with both of us on Rabbit anyway, just so that way, you know, we're bunny friends.
So that movie night is the Saturday after this episode drops. So don't sit on this one if watching terribly awesome monster movies with some of us sounds like it's a thing you would enjoy doing. So thanks to all those people. Thanks to Kit. You can go back and slowly die now.
And now
Thank you, Kit.
I away.
Yeah, all right. And we all away. But we hope that you enjoyed this experiment. I don't know what else to call it. Please join us again next week. We're back with another regular Smash Fiction match, and that match is going to be Susanna Dean from The Dark Tower versus Tulip O'Hare from Preacher. Smash Metafiction is produced by Miles Schneiderman and production assistant Sharon Schneiderman, with logo design by Claire Mulcairn.
Special thanks to Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com for our theme song, Volatile Reaction.
You can find us on Twitter at SmashFic Podcast and search for the Smash Fiction Podcast on Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube.
Subscribe on Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice, and if you leave us a good review, we shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Smash Fiction is made possible thanks to our supporters on Patreon at patreon.com/smashfictionpodcast. Please consider donating as little as $1 each month. It helps us keep the show going, and we have great rewards and extra content for those who help us out.
If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other contributions, send them to us at smashfictionpodcast@gmail.com and help us continue the fight.
I actually really like the world building you did for this one, if I'm being honest. I want to hear stories or role play in this actual setting where you have to go undercover and make people fall in love. That's just a really cool premise. It was
guys,
really great.
is this our next league?
Maybe. League Season
could
2,
do Cupid.
Agents of Cupid.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Oh, hi there, Loretta. Sorry, he's becoming George McFly. Sorry.
No, this is
I was trying
great.
to. I don't even know how to do
that
it. How do you do a Nicolas Cage voice?
He has a weird voice in that movie, too, in particular.
It's oh, hi there, Loretta.